And the LPL is back with the second series of the day after a very quick 2-0 there from Suning. We're here in the Beijing arena from JDG. They're going to be coming up against EDG in this second series of the day. And hopefully we see about as much action as we saw in the first series, because that was an absolute masterclass from Suning, showing a very different face. But these faces on the desk are going to be the same. Matt Niberic, Daniel, Clement Chu, and we've got JDG versus EDG, both last time in the playoffs. JDG, of course, were our spring finalists, so this is a really exciting matchup based on that alone.
This is a grudge matchup for both sides. JD Gaming was the one that took EDG out of the playoffs in 2018 summers, making it the first time that they didn't actually, that they bowed out that early. And also, then EDG got them back in the regional finals, preventing them from going to Worlds. So there's a lot of history between these two organizations, but one is on the upswing, while JD Gaming, we have to say, has been a little bit disappointing.
That is a bit of an understatement there, Clement, because they are currently at 0-2 there for JDG, which is not what you want to see coming in from your previous splits finalists. And especially we thought once they trimmed down the roster, they let go of Bavoy, they let go of Levi. We thought, okay, cool, they have a more distinct focus now, but it doesn't seem to have paid off for them.
We wanted them to improve, but in fact what they did was actually regress, and they regressed quite a bit. They looked very rusty in their sets against LNG and of course FPX, where they were frankly demolished by FPX. So we've actually came to some conclusions about what is wrong with JD Gaming in these series, and the main reason is that Zoom has been left alone in the top lane earlier on. He's still doing great in the team fights and carrying the team in damage. 30.4 on the Victor on the Gangplank, but his early game has been quite atrocious. KDA at 15 minutes, sub 1. He's been getting killed a lot, and his CSD has been very negative as well. The problem here is that the jungle needs to coordinate with Zoom a little bit better. There's been multiple games where we've seen Zoom just frozen out of his wave. The jungle pressure is in the top side, but Flawless is showing himself bot. There's nothing much that Zoom can do in a 2v1 situation, and he's just left there to dry. We really need to see that change and to allow Zoom to start carrying from the early game.
And one of the ways that JDG are trying to combat this, of course, we have seen a substitution there in the jungle. They're going to be bringing in Kanavi, formerly there on Griffin, instead of Flawless. So this may help out with that top jungle communication, try and give Zoom maybe less of an island and more of a peninsula.
I don't think it's going to help on communication by any means. This is a new player coming in from Korea, has not played any professional games. But I have to say that Flawless has been out-jungled quite hard in these couple of games by SOFM, by Teeen. So giving a new guy a shot, I think it's a great idea. That's why they had Levi in the previous split as well. Flawless, when he has highs, he has great highs. But when he has lows, they're pretty damn low as well. So I think giving someone new a try is great. Now, just a little bit of an introduction on Kanavi. He is a great solo queue player, did come from Griffin. And he plays a lot of Aatrox jungle and also Graves jungle. So a lot of off-meta stuff, but what I really want to see him excel as is if he can actually pick up the Olaf. Olaf was a pick that we didn't see Flawless being able to take out in this meta, and I think you really need it.
But that's interesting from JDG that they're trying a new jungler, because this is something that, of course, EDG are doing as well. You know, they've had Clearlove for so long, but they've been trying to train up a prodigy for him, and so far they really haven't had much success.
Yeah, you have to say Clearlove has been probably the most influential player in LPL history. 5 championships in 13 seasons, but he's also been playing for 8 years now. So it's a question if Clearlove can continue going, and he's been on and off for retirement for the past 2 years. So EDG, they really need to find someone who can fill in Clearlove's shoes, but it's very difficult. You need the shot calling ability, and you also need the mechanical edge. So they've been trying this since 2014. Fire Loli was there, he didn't work, he went on to OMG and then retired. And Haro was there in the previous split, now he's on Rogue Warriors. It's finally Jiejie's turn, brought up from EDG Youth, to see if they can finally fill the position.
And so far, man, I mean, Jiejie has been so incredibly impressive. Yes, EDG have only had 1 series, and both games of his were played on the Olaf. So maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't know how he performs on other champions, but so far Jiejie's performance has been absolutely insane. The aggression and confidence coming out from this jungler.
Let me tell you, this guy is willing to go into the enemy jungle and 1v1. That is so crucial for EDG. If you think how they dropped out of playoffs these couple of years, it's because Clearlove, when going solo, had to face the likes of Karsa, had to face the likes of Klid, and then Xiaopeng, and frankly, Clearlove could not win those 1v1s. Now you have a jungler with the mechanical ability to go into the enemy side and then link up your winning bot lane, your winning mid lane. It's so crucial to EDG's tempo style of game, and I think Jiejie fits right in. We've also heard from the mic check that he's been able to do a bit of shot calling himself. So if he can hold on to both fronts, maybe EDG don't have to pull Clearlove back out of retirement. It's like, surprise, guys, coming back to save the split, yay! That sort of stuff. And I really hope that they give this new guy a little bit more patience. The Clearlove 2.0 project needs to be done. It needs to be done sooner than later. Summer, to me, is already very, very late. You only have one split to adjust. But for the future of EDG, it has to be done. And you have to remember, EDG have so much pressure on them. They have never missed a chance to go to Worlds. They want to go keep that legacy going.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, there's a chance they don't make it. And that's scary.
Yes.
But I think I want to see that too with Clearlove not having to come back in, because I think for EDG fans at this point, it's sort of become a holiday when Clearlove is inevitably subbed back in. It's like, oh, it's Clearlove Day. He's back. We get to see Clearlove again. But I don't think that's healthy for the team long term, because he has an 8-year career, and while that is incredibly impressive, at a certain point, he may want to retire. His mechanics may fade too much. He may just no longer have as much of a passion for the team, for the game. And like you were saying, he's struggling in some of the 1v1s versus some of the most mechanically talented players. So I think this is an ideal time, really, for them to start bringing up players. And I'm glad that it's from their youth team this time, at the very least.
Yeah, at least they have good coordination with them. So Clearlove, I think he will get you through the domestic split. He will give you great results. He was 67% win rate last time around. But he's going to have a lot of difficulty when it comes to those tough playoff matchups, when it comes to these Worlds matchups where he's going to have to run against someone like FLICKR. But I'm going to give this guy the run of the show. Today, our stadium is going to welcome the finalists. They are coming in hot. They want to get another point from us. Are we going to give them that chance? Do we want to give them that opportunity? Let's welcome the challengers, EDG!
I have never felt so much like I'm in a wrestling match.
This is fun. I love that WWE flavor.
Yeah!
It seems like they're going in the wrong direction, though. Okay, they got it figured out.
They got there in the
stand
end.
on the logo.
That's where the sponsorship is. Make sure they pay attention. This is exciting, Clement. We've not getting to see this before. And of course,
I love this. This is what you should do with the home stadium. EDG don't have their own, but JD Gaming do. Okay, they should probably rehearse this a little bit more, though.
maybe a little bit. They're having some trouble getting to their chairs, standing on their marks, but at least they have a great MC.
I love his gestures. This is great.
I live in love.
Kanavi, Yagao,
Oh, he's got a bit of echo there.
Teeen, and Homie.
I love this. He's stealing our thunder, Clement. He's doing the player introductions. I don't think I can do as convincing a WWE voice.
I think Jake has the voice to do it. They should really give them a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, he's enjoying this. DX Master, a salute to you.
好戏即将上演。
You see how chill the guys in the front row were?
Yeah, they're just like,
How could
yeah,
he be that
sure.
chill?
Sure, 100%. We've been here. I imagine that's just how he gets around day to day. It's like, Civil, 我想打车 I want a taxi.
This is great. Can we get him in the English studio?
Yeah, let's just bring him in. Let's have him as a guest on the desk and exclusively let him talk like that.
This is Jiejie on your screen, the new youth jungler we were talking about. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just had to introduce new players. But did you see the guy's fingers? He couldn't help himself. He was so
he's feeling
excited.
it. He's just like the greatest cartoon villain of all time.
All right, no matter who wins this game, DX Master is the MVP.
Yes,
That's
he is
already
the
been
MVP.
decided.
I want an MVP screen for him. KDA at least 2 because he is absolutely killing us with that performance. But we are going to have to watch actual EDG play at some point. I just wish, I kind of want DX Master to join us in the commentary. I just want to hear random shouts over the crowd, but
We are casting in Shanghai. That's going to be mighty difficult.
he's pretty loud, man. He might be able to.
That's so
Did you
great.
hear that boom?
We also had Romain last time doing the call-outs for the other Beijing stadium in the RNG,
Yeah.
the cage match stadium where they have all the chain-wired fences. That was awesome as well. I think a lot more stadiums should do something like that. It really gets the crowd going. Okay, probably not, but,
Apparently
it's
not.
cool.
If I were in the crowd, I'd be like, yeah, get it.
I know. I can't believe they were so... I mean, this is kind of typical with Asian crowds, so I have to say.
The EDG fans are like, we don't care about you. We want EDG to win. Are you going to make EDG win? No, get off the stage.
Oh, God, look at that Zoom face. He's out for a blood.
He's serious.
I haven't seen Zoom that angry in a while.
He's not feeling the levity of DX Master there. He's really just, wow. I think he's mad that we put up that stat scream of him. We're sorry, Zoom.
Oh,
But
come on. That's we have to be objective. We
We
have
do,
to point
we
out.
do.
And I don't think it was Zoom's fault. If you look at the stats, he's actually caught up with his opponents for the most
Yeah.
part in the later half of the game. He's been doing a lot of damage. He's the main damage dealer of that squad now. Very rare for a top laner to hold that type of title. But Jingdong Gaming as a whole, they just look really lost. They played a game with their substitute in Teen, which didn't really work out. The roaming wasn't really there. Yagao's been finding it very difficult to adjust in the new meta. Was absolutely destroyed by Doinbi, and also had another Rise game, which is just doesn't fit the Jingdong character of roaming early and roaming heavily. So I want to see if Kanavi can come in and try to change that.
Well, you raise an interesting point with Teen coming in because he's going to be here in this series as well, and that makes 2 of our LPL teams, actually both of our finalist teams, are coming in with substitute supports in all of their series so far.
Yeah, very
IG coming
weird.
in with Lucas as well. So this is interesting too because Lumao seemed so successful for JDG.
Lumao was basically the captain of this team. He's been there the longest. He's been there when Doinbi was still on the team. And he's also the main shot caller. So JD Gaming are just not the same team without Lumao on the field.
It is interesting because we've been having a little bit of difficulty watching these teams and really gauging where their potential is because after coming in, specifically IG and JDG, after last split, you know, they showed such amazing performances. JDG with that miracle run to playoffs that got immediately dunked down by Invictus Gaming, both of them running in with the sub support, so it's really hard to judge where their actual strengths lie this split so far because we haven't seen their standard roster. And if this is going to then be their standard roster now, if they want to keep running Teen, if they want to keep running Lucas, where exactly do they lie? Because so far, it has not been finding success for them.
I really don't know why they're doing it. You know, Baolan has, after they won Worlds, he wanted to leave the team then, and the team persuaded him to stay on the roster to win a spring finals together. Now he's still gone. Lumao, after great success on the team, is suddenly missing as well. I really don't know what's happening behind the scenes between these teams, but it's a little bit unfortunate to see them sort of knock down a peg. Now, just a reminder on why JD Gaming was so good in the last playoff run. Zoom #1 played out of his mind. Absolutely demolished RNG, demolished Gimgoon, basically played pose like a fiddle. He wasn't even really there. And then the bot lane for JD Gaming was doing great as well. I felt Imp really woke up throughout that entire series. He had solo kills onto Mystic, won them a couple very crucial team fights, and that's how they were able to progress. But you could also see some of the parts that didn't work out that well. I felt like Yagao still continued to be quite questionable in terms of champion picks, in terms of performance compared to his earlier split, and Flawless was still fairly inconsistent. He had a couple bad games here and there. So I think JD Gaming is a team that almost feel like they exhausted that special juice that they had in the playoffs, but their weaknesses still remain relatively the same. So they're in this kind of place where, you know, you're not going to play at your absolute top level the entire year. They're kind of rebounding, coming back down, and the rest of the team still isn't meeting their expected level yet. So I want to see what JD Gaming actually show us right here, because they've been all over the place, and it's uncharacteristic for Coach Ohm to be that way. He's been known as a great Vantage coach. I felt like he's the main reason that they got so far in playoffs.
I know one thing, Clement, and that's that the one thing I don't want to see from JDG is another rise for Yagao. He, I believe, won 0 games total in the spring split. That was our running total after something like 6 games on it.
He's 0-8 right now. We don't talk about that champion. Sylas is much better, but giving over Aatrox to Jinoo, oof, that's a questionable one. Aatrox is still 100% win rate in the LPL as of now. 100% appearance rate, I might add as well.
And it can be flexed by Jiejie as well. I mean, there's options here for one of the strongest picks in the LPL. And that's never a good thing. So JDG giving that one over, and they're getting the Nautilus and the Sylas in return, but I really don't feel positively about that trade.
The only semi-counter we have to Aatrox in the meta is probably Fiora, but it's still a very heavy jungle-impacted matchup, still a very heavy skill-impacted matchup, and it's also not a champion that Zoom really plays. So I find it quite questionable for JD Gaming to just leave that open. They must have an answer to it, but I really can't think of anything that has worked so far.
Well, they will lock in the Nautilus and the Xayah, so at the very least their bottom lane is going to be strong, but they did give over the Lovers duo in Xayah and Rakan. So far, JDG don't feel like they're ahead in this pick ban.
I don't like this draft phase whatsoever. Xayah has a great answer to Nautilus's depth charge. He can dodge out of that ultimate quite easily. It's so telegraphed. So EDG, they've come away with a lot of power picks, and I don't see the same level of answer from JD Gaming whatsoever. They do still have that top lane counter pick that they're holding close to their chest. I really want to see what Zoom throws out here. I think it has to be something new, something special to really warrant leaving Aatrox open.
Now, we're just going to see some bans. So, we know at the very least what special picks they are going to bring out. And the Rise ban, I hate to say it, and I hate to hammer down on Yagao again, but was that ban necessary?
I think the Rise is mainly for the top side. They don't want something that can just wave clear safely and stand underneath the tower. Like, if the Rise is going to Yagao, I'm going to let them have it. There's no question there. So, it was mainly just to get it off the hands of Zoom. I think that's a decent solution.
They will pick up the Lee Sin there for JD Gaming as the Karthus has been taken away. But Kanavi going to have his debut game here in the LPL on Lee Sin. Very mechanically demanding champion. I'm hoping to see some flashy plays from him with that.
Hey, Plex has been doing great. Another import from Griffin. So we have good reason to expect that Kanavi is going to come out with the same level of performance. I think it's going to be a treat to see someone debut on Lee Sin.
Very exciting. But Jiejie not going to go for the Olaf. So we are going to finally see him on a different champion because the Olaf's been taken away from him. So we're going to see him on the Jarvan this game. It looks like maybe rounding it out with a Neeko. They will finish the composition with a Neeko.
This is a killer draft from EDG. A great response to counter-initiate. Great initiation themselves with the Neeko and the Jarvan. And stocked with power picks. Like, the level of this draft from EDG is absolutely insane. I honestly can't believe they're getting away with something like this.
They're giving Zoom the Gangplank, it looks like. Now, this is not inherently bad, but I would like to point out that the game where Zoom had the highest negative CS differential was when he was on the Gangplank. He was down, I believe, 50 CS. That is not necessarily a good place to start, but hopefully Kanavi will go for a little bit more of an aggressive topside focus this time and try and get Zoom set up for success since he is such a reliable carry for the team.
there isn't really a lane that works well here for JDG.
Oh boy.
If left on their own, I don't think any of these lanes actually just straight up win. The range matchup for Neeko versus Sylas is still quite beneficial. You can get quite an easy level 1 to 5 as long as you play safe enough. Same goes for the bot lane and the top lane. So this is a type of match where
This draft has broken you, Clement.
yeah, this draft is all on Kanavi's shoulders. He's gonna have to outplay the hell out of Jiejie and get one of these lanes to flip the matchup. To be fair, they have a lot of scaling, and maybe that's what they're banking on, but I really don't like this draft.
Okay, well, we're not so hot on the JDG draft then, so let's talk a little bit about the EDG draft. What is it that you like about it? Because you did say that it was pretty fantastic.
Everything.
There you go.
It has everything. It has some of the best engage options. You have Jarvan and Rakan. It has some of the best disengage options. You have Neeko. Like, it's so hard to chase into a Neeko, and you have Xayah.
Yeah, that is a little much.
And all of those are power picks. Like Aatrox, Neeko, they're probably the most sought after champions in the entire meta at the point.
Is it fair
and they
to
also
say
win their lanes.
Is it
What
fair
more
to
could
say
you
that
want?
if JDG win this, it's a miracle?
Oh, damn. I
'Cause
really don't know how they win
We
this.
usually don't talk about pick ban as being like a massively deciding factor here. However, it sounds like this one's pretty in favor of EDG. So JD, like we said, Kanavi, there is a lot of pressure riding on this man.
The only way that JD Gaming actually win this is if they somehow drag the game out to 35 and then Gangplank just gets like one lucky barrel. Bam!
Well, hopefully, for JDG's sake, we see at least one lucky barrel this game. But game one, it's going to be real rough for JDG versus EDG.
You gotta trust in the zoom.
So we've talked a little bit about what Kanavi needs to do, and the answer was everything. Given that, Jiejie seems to have a lot of freedom in his pathing, a lot of freedom in what lanes he wants to go to. Where is the best for him to put his time?
I think the best way is actually for Neeko just to control her wave earlier on. She doesn't really need to push out, keep her safe, and then focus more on just getting the bot lane ahead. The bot lane is most likely going to push for EDG. So the way Jiejie should play this is just try to keep the bot lane in a shoving position and ward out for them. I think that's his best option. Now we're seeing a very interesting start from Kanavi here as well. So no leash, straight into vertical jungle, and this is what we wanted to see for Zoom at least. They're going to get Zoom ahead.
Going to lock off the potential answer of the pressure there from the side of EDG. So that's at least something going JDG's way. And of course, the graph's going to be there on Zoom, going to give him a lot of healing potential in the trades. But he has to be careful. Because if Jinoo starts engaging onto him, that's a Conqueror Aatrox. That's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of healing. And I don't think Gangplank's going to have an answer.
Yeah, the 1v1 definitely goes to Aatrox, and you can see Jinoo playing very defensively right now. He knows the Lee Sin started the red buff, no leash on the bottom side. It's not really going to venture out with his own jungler on the bot.
Now the mid lane just continuing to farm up. Going to be happy there for Scout. He is going the Glacial Augment build, of course. We've seen a lot of this on quite a few mages, including Morgana in the mid lane. Just gives you a lot of zone control, a lot of slows in team fights, and it's just generally a pain to deal with. And Jiejie going to continue the vertical jungle on his own, pick up that blue buff as well. But this means that his bot lane's pretty safe here. Yeah, JDG get what they wanted, but isn't this kind of what Jiejie wants too?
Yeah, I think this is what both teams kind of want. JD Gaming don't really care if the early game is not CS advantageous for their mid lane and their bot lane, while Jiejie needs to keep both of his pushing lanes relatively safe. So I think both junglers are doing the correct calls. This is a really bad trade for Zoom, though.
Yeah, that didn't go great for him. But he's going to try and recover as best he can. Kanavi looking in towards the mid lane. It will find Scout, forces away the flash at the very least. Did land the Q, but not going to be able to follow it up. Not enough damage there.
Yeah, great Tangle Barbs there from Scout. Gets the double lockdown. So they're going to try and repeat gank this, but I think it's fine for Scout. He pushed on the earlier waves, and now he has a chance to just keep his wave in this position.
iBoy and Meiko going to be farming it up here in the bottom lane. No engages coming out here so far from Teeen and Imp. And the massive, massive CS lead on iBoy. It's a bit of a point of concern. He's over 10 CS up. It's just 4 minutes in, Clement.
And this is what naturally happens in that lane. You give the push to Xayah. You also have jungle control over that side of the map. And if you look what Jiejie did in the early game, he just cleared out the right side of the jungle, made sure that if Kanavi was going to come here, it was going to be a very inefficient pathing. You take all the counts away, it's at least 2 minutes and 30 seconds before they respawn and give them a clear pathing.
JJ going to be looking to find a gank here onto Zoom. He wasn't spotted by the Scuttle Crab. Kanavi is rotating up towards the top side of the map, but I don't think it'll be in time. Zoom walking way too far forward. Flag and Drag not going to land as a result. The flash away from Zoom. Kanavi's coming as fast as he can, but it's not going to be fast enough. Zoom has to go for the oranges. He's trying to get the move speed. He might be able to get out. Kanavi, he comes in, he gets the shield, but now he's stuck in a 2 versus 1. And Kanavi going to have to back away from that one as EDG pick up first blood.
Jiejie outplayed the hell out of that one. Actually landed the Dragon Strike, just the tip of the spear, able to take Zoom down. And this was the problem that we were talking about in the pregame, is that Zoom recently has not been having a great laning phase. He's been dying a lot in lane. He's been zoned out quite frequently. And it's been between the communication between jungler and top lane. The opponents just have had better ideas of how to play that lane.
Not going to be much luck there for the side of JD Gaming, but EDG now, with Zoom out of the lane, has given a chance for Jinoo to farm up a little bit. He's been down CS, but now he's shortened it to just about a wave of CS differential at 9. But now, the mid lane, Jiejie was not able to find the pressure he was looking for there, but his bottom lane's happy, and that's their goal for the time being. Now, Clement, when are we waiting for things to explode? When are they done being happy with how things are and they start breaking out of the lanes, or they start looking for picks, looking for engages?
Well, I think EDG's game plan is quite easy. You just let these lanes be, let mid and bot lane get enough of advantage, you snowball a Drake, and then you go top lane. That's pretty much the game plan for them. It's pretty cut and dried. It's a double snowball of objectives. You see that very frequently in the LPL.
We'll be looking for it, JJ.
Kanavi? Kanavi?
Good flag and drag. I think Kanavi sees it by now, finally. Did take him a while to pick that one up, but he's not going to get traded there by JJ. So now, looking into the bottom lane once again. Still going to have that CS lead. It hasn't been moved very much, though. And Imp has started with the pickaxe, so we may be seeing the Manamune build once again.
So far, great moves by Jiejie. He's just keeping these lanes shoved in.
Oh, here comes the ultimate from Zoom, plus a TP from one of the JD Gaming members. This is quite the play. They're going all the way in. Yagao uses the Pop Blossom. They will be able to pick up Meiko, but they dedicated a lot of people for that, Clement.
Yeah, one ultimate and double summoners coming in from Yagao just to make that one play happen. I wonder if it's going to turn out beneficial for them. There's a lot of opportunity now for Jiejie to actually get these kills back. The one kill did happen on Meiko, the support. So iBoy is still going to be able to keep his CS lead up.
Not quite the ideal roam there for JD Gaming, but at least they got something off of this, because that was a concern that we were having there. Now they'll have a little bit of an advantage, but they'll be down one teleport. Zoom still has his ultimate down, but he's not going to need it for any more cross-map plays for the time being. It's all going to be waiting for that dragon, and then when the Rift Herald spawns, looking at that. But for the time being, Yagao now looking for some aggressive vision in the enemy jungle. But Scout might spot him out here with a ward. Teen's here as well.
And you gotta love this. Teen finally showing some Lumal plays, roaming early with the Moby boots. This is something that Lumal loves to do. And they're gonna hammer down on that strong side that they have. At least this time, Zune is in a comfortable CS lead. But I have to say, I'm really impressed by the way Jiejie has been playing this one out. Like, the wave is not to his tower. His bot lane is backing. He goes towards the top side, make sure that there's not going to be an invade for the blue buff. Prioritizes the ability to push out his wave for his mid laner. And that was a beautiful counteract.
Now Jinoo Going to be staying pretty aggressive, but he's going to predict that Lee Sin's there, but I don't know if he's ready to fight both of them, but Jinoo may just be able to walk out of this.
That was not a predict. That was a, I'm going to ward the Krugs. I hope no one is there.
I hope this Q doesn't hit anyone, because if it does, I'm in a whole lot of trouble, and he's finding the trouble now. But EDG are here to answer. They find the kill on the Zoom. How does that happen?
Oh, God. Well, that was very well played.
Yikes, Clement.
Jinoo actually surviving on 200 HP. He didn't get a takedown, so he would have died. There's no revive on the Aatrox anymore. But great knock-up coming in from Jiejie just in the nick of time. CC lands from Scout as well, and they walk away from what appeared to be certain death from their top laner.
Things going great for EDG so far. 900 gold lead they're sitting on at the moment. Let's take a look at that play once again.
This was a bad play from Jinoo. Let's just be absolutely honest. It was not the correct play. At the meantime, though, I'm not sure why Kanavi actually went over the wall again. Felt like he could have done more damage. Yeah, I think Jinoo actually just faked him out. I'm not sure why he decided to ward hop over the control ward. He probably anticipated Aatrox to then go over the wall again.
Can I just say it's really satisfying to watch Aatrox CS? It's just one of those things in League of Legends where you're like, yes, this is a universal good. I like seeing this Q take out the entire wave at once. Now JDG going to pick up the blue buff at the very least. They may be looking for another roam down into the bottom lane. They land the dredge line. There's the depth charge on top of it. Cannon barrage. Everything's going down to try and take out iBoy. Kanavi with the laser precision on the Sonic Wave. Teleport coming in now from EDG. They have the man advantage once this fight starts out. Teeen the first one to fall from the side of JDG. Quick follow up there onto Imp. Now Kanavi and Yagao need to get out of here. Here comes the Pop Blossom. It's going to be answered there by Yagao, but it's a little too late. Kanavi taken down. Now Yagao, the last man standing. He's going to try and find Meiko. He will find it on the backside, but that makes it a 2-for-4 in favor of EDG.
EDG just thinking ahead. They get the teleport into a favorable position, and they have a TP lead on Jinoo over Zoom. So this is just going to start the EDG play early. They're already swapping their bot lane towards the top. This is what we were talking about. You get that overflow from your bot lane winning, you take the Drake, and then you make a play for the Herald. The typical EDG snowball. And even though JD Gaming actually played the start of that fight so well, they were just behind in overall resources and macro that they had. The bot lane didn't have that much damage at that point. They were down teleports, so just weren't able to get out with the early kill and stabilize.
Imp has, at the very least, completed the Man and Moon, but the problem for him this game is that he doesn't go for the Doran's Blade, but let's see what this engage started out as.
So this was really smart. They know that the Xayah does not have double ult, neither of her summoners. You go directly on her. Great find by Teeen. But then this follow-up play, they have nowhere to go. Jiejie is already in position. Jinoo has the extra teleport over Gangplank. They just can't find themselves outside of this play. It was two teleports coming in, and these teleports were actually far better positioned as well. They give up a lot of ultimates on the initial kill just to finish at down iBoy. And this is the snowball that we were talking about, the exact script that EDG have. You just let that mid, let that bottom lane win enough where you can snowball the objectives. They're most likely going to get the first tower here. That's in 300 extra gold. And they're sitting at such a comfortable lead. This is a game where EDG, I think, will be able to accelerate quite quickly.
Looks like they already have the Herald takes down the tower. They'll get a second hit there as well. JDG trying to invade here on the red buff, but I don't even know if they win out on this one. They have to be really careful. Kanavi does secure it. Don't know where that fight goes, but here's the fight here in the top side. Zoom, he is not having a fun game. This will be his third death so far, but a good flash keeps him alive. Doesn't matter, he's going to lose the tower regardless. And now EDG up 2 towers, both in the top lane. So Zoom is having a really poor showing here in game number 1.
And that's when you thought you would catch Captain Zoom. But he gets away all right. Still, that's 2 towers traded in the top side for a single turret on the bot for JD Gaming. Very favorable trade for EDG. And they also have a temple lead with Zoom being off the map.
Yagao trying to go for an engage there. Has the Pop Blossom stolen. Loses most of his health here on the return trade. Just 30 seconds until those turret platings fall. So no more extra gold going to be coming out for EDG. But I don't know if they care, Clement. They're already up 3,000. They've got the Mountain Drake as well, which was fantastic luck for them since they wanted to have the emphasis on the objectives.
This is where Zoom is typing in all chat. Don't worry, boys. We've got the late game. Just wait for me to farm up.
I didn't know Zoom was me in solo queue. That's good. I've got it, guys. I'll have a Trinity Force soon. I know we're down 3 kills and I only have the inhibitor tower left, but I promise we can do something here.
Yeah, this is rough. You typically want the infinity, like the standard infinity timing is about 13 minutes. If you don't have it, it's a sad day for Captain Gangplank. Does he have it? Nope. Still 300 gold short.
That's really unfortunate. So
yeah.
Zoom's still going to be struggling here for a while. He should be able to pick up the Trinity Force with just a few waves. It's just 333 gold to get the upgrade, so at the very least he will have it soon. That is a pretty big delay. They're sending Yagao down to the side lanes to try and farm, but EDG is pinging onto it, and I'm suddenly fearing for Yagao's life.
The problem here is that EDG have so much chase down potential, JD Gaming can never leave their own towers. And if you look at the top side, EDG is pinging it right now. The wave is actually pushing out. So what EDG can actually do is that they could just send someone and farm and freeze that wave. And there's nothing JD Gaming can do about it. JD Gaming are going to lose a source of income.
Now, JD have already lost quite a few sources of income, if we're going to be frank. The entire top lane has to be so carefully played by Zoom, and so far, he's already died twice. So I'm not sure careful is really his middle name this game. He needs to be very cautious going into this, and EDG just get to keep snowballing. No objectives on the map for them to take just yet outside of the towers, but the next dragon will be spawning fairly soon, within the next minute, and they'll have the opportunity to pick up a Cloud Drake.
So what EDG can really do right now is they can just hold these waves with Aatrox and Neeko, wait until their teleports come up, and if JD Gaming try to catch any of these side lane freezes, then they just TP into the fight. Very clear-cut strategy for them. Instead, they're actually going to go for the full clear instead, and pick up the mountain, pick up the Drake. Hopefully, deal a little bit of damage to tower.
Oh no! Here comes the engage. Imp gonna have a little bit of problems. Killer instinct, way too aggressive, way too early, but it will save his life for the time being. That was a lot of ultimates blown to take him down. A lot of ultimates to keep him alive as well. And now, with that timing, Dragon's coming up very soon. They pick up the Scuttle Crab. Now EDG should be able to rotate freely now that Imp is in the base.
Yep, easy 2v2, 2-for-2 ultimate trade, but JD Gaming still don't have any vision across this Drake whatsoever.
EDG not feeling confident in going for it despite the man advantage, so instead they're just going to rotate up into the mid lane, try and get a little bit of pressure there. Maybe they'll rotate to it now. They are throwing down a bunch of pings onto it, and at the very least Scout has his first item, so if a fight does break out, they have the possibility of winning it. Jinoo with teleport as well, so I don't think a contest will come in here from JDG. And Kanavi, in his first showing here, hasn't really been able to get a whole lot done against the relentless onslaught of EDG.
And I have to say, this is pretty much what I expected. It's very difficult to play jungle well. I think it's even more difficult than Plex, for instance, to play jungle well without being able to communicate with your teammates. That's a very rough one. And they do have Imp, so he's probably doing translating duty for his team members at the same time.
That's a lot of focus you have to take away, though.
Yeah, you know, there's going to be no shot calling, no translations when that play just happened in the mid lane.
Hopefully, if there was shot calling in the mid lane there, that spells a little bit more of a problem. And Zoom, he is just not having a fun time of it this game. Here comes the engage, Flag and Drag into Cataclysm. That's the top laner of JDG going down. And the teleport in from Yagao, he's going to have the dash out, use the Portal Belt to keep himself safe. He has a Cataclysm of his own. Doesn't really matter. EDG pick up another free kill onto the top laner of JD Gaming.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. EDG can actually just freeze waves. They freeze, they match with TP, they deny you sources of income, and the only reasonable play I think JD Gaming have to counter with is they have to make a super aggressive play in the mid lane when something like that happens. They need like a flash kick, a 200 IQ geometry kick on iBoy just to take him back, and maybe they can win that way.
Come on, Kanavi.
But I'll be absolutely frank, a lot of these outcomes, I pretty much expected from the draft phase. There is such a thing as meta drafting. It's unfortunate, but it is true that some champions are just better than others. Some animals are more equal than others. So, yeah.
Now, it's going to be a really big problem here for JDG because sans a giant active play from them towards the mid lane, this is going to be kind of a slower game because EDG can just keep up the pressure. You know, they've got the 2 items on Scout now, so if they ever find anyone looking for a pick, that's just someone's dying.
Yep, and EDG's game plan is very easy to predict right now. You just got to pick up the second Infernal, snowball into Baron. JD Gaming come over, you just kill him. And that's probably it. So JD Gaming, what I envision in the future is that they're not going to be able to get into River much at all in the next couple of minutes. And if they want to come back, they're going to have to get a Baron steal.
Okay, Clement, when you said there's a lot of pressure on Kanavi, I didn't quite expect that to be the reason.
Well, you're just putting him in a bad spot. Like, all of your lanes, none of your lanes are supposed to win. Like, what do you want the jungler to do? He had a really good early gank. I really enjoyed that gank onto Scout, but Scout did outplay with the Tangle Barbs in the end.
His best play so far this game was shut down, so he's gonna have a little bit of trouble with that. The Baron has spawned. Next dragon will be the Infernal as well.
Not indicative of how good that Kanavi is going to be in the future. It's just a rough spot for jungler to be in.
Yeah, and I mean, a little bit of this, no matter how he performs, like even if he performed well, it's the same situation with Plex, right? It's going to be a little bit of growing pains. When you have a Korean player on a team that primarily speaks Mandarin, there's going to be problems with communication. There's going to be problems with playmaking. And so far, EDG are just absolutely demolishing them and manipulating that.
As you can see now, the only ward that JD Gaming even have across river is in that Baron pit. Don't think EDG is going to be looking at that Baron just quite yet.
That was massive slows coming out from Scout, and it gave enough zoning for EDG. That was a beautiful dodge of the hook there. The Cataclysm comes in here from Jiejie. He is so healthy thanks to that Stone Plate. Now they may be able to find Kanavi. Here comes the Pop Blossom.
Oh,
it lands on
God.
the floor. Disgusting Neeko play coming out from EDG. Scout, they get the ace, and they should be able to get this Tier 2 tower.
They're going to get an inhibitor. That was insane. That was a full 5-man lockdown coming in from Scout, flashing over the wall from beyond vision, just catching JD Gaming entirely off guard.
My God. It feels like Scout was watching Maple's game when he stole the Pop Blossom and was like, hold my Tangle Barbs, I can do better. And that was incredible. 3-0-7 now for the mid laner of EDG. They pick up an inhibitor, like you said. Let's take a look once again. Focus around Scout.
A good slow on the side wave, and I want to see how Scout maneuvers around this one. He actually walks the entire way around. He started on the left side of the fight. Nobody's going to expect that. Yagao comes down, and he gets locked up as well. That's a full 5-man Penta Pop Blossom, and that just popped JD Gaming's hopes.
I thought he missed on the bottom side of that. No. He got all 5.
That was filthy.
Oh no, EDG, they're going in for the engage again. JJ lands the flag and drag Teeen in a lot of trouble, loses most of his health. So he won't be able to help in this fight. So this should be a free dragon here for EDG, and that means they have the time. They can rotate it up towards the Baron if they so choose. They have Infernal, they have Mountain, they have Cloud. They have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and JD Gaming still has not shown us what they really plan on doing in summer of 2019. Drafts were fairly questionable. They threw a lot of respect to Jiejie. They really did. They banned out the Rek'Sai and the Olaf, so they wanted to give Kanavi a game where he could dominate, making sure that he could play 1v1 style. But I've got to say that Jiejie, even when he was looking at Kanavi just in the solo, he didn't back down at all. In fact, Kanavi didn't even see him. So I like the idea JD Gaming gave here.
Teeen gets engaged on, ultimates are blown, and that should be the Baron here for EDG now that they've picked off the support of JD Gaming. And this is just disaster after disaster for this JD Gaming squad. And like you said, they really haven't shown what they plan to do here. Jinoo gets engaged on this. Might be what JDG were looking for. They get a lot of damage onto him. Cannon Barrage to zone him out. But here comes EDG. And they will zone sufficiently to get Jinoo out to safety. Yagao looking for a play, but I don't think he's going to be able to find it. Kanavi dodging out the Tangle Barbs, but Yagao has to flash away from the flag and drag, but there's the Cataclysm. Going to find him there. He's barely still alive. Might be able to find a trade onto Jiejie, but no! Kanavi tried so hard, but his best wasn't good enough. The double kill comes in for iBoy. So the chase continues. Scout not going to find anyone with the GLP, but it doesn't matter. It's 2 people taken down, including the jungler there. EDG having fair run of this game. Oh no. Imp not going to get hit with the Tangle Bars, but it doesn't matter. The follow-up, even the Pop Blossom used for that one. Scout, that was a little bit disrespectful, a little bit extra, and I a lot of it respected.
Yeah, once you have the map open like that, that 60% slow from Glacial Augment is so deadly against targets. This is what I was saying, that EDG, they have strong lanes, they have insane engage potential, and you just don't see how JD Gaming are ever going to survive the early game with this. I think JD Gaming, they wanted Kanavi to have a good game. They banned the Olaf and Rek'Sai, the great solo junglers, but they just left too much open on the table.
It's really frustrating for JDG as well, because they did want to scale up to 35 minutes. But they may be scaling up to a dead Nexus much faster than that. Because at this point, Zoom doesn't even have 2 items. Let's take a look at this mid lane fight and how Jinoo lives for so darn long.
Yeah, that speed up from World Ender is just absolutely amazing. He gets out, and I really applaud Kanavi for trying in this play. He wanted to get a double knockup with the crowd control. There was a slimmer of a chance that JD Gaming could have a comeback, but just taking a look at this, unfortunately he only found 1 target going on to Jiejie, and that wasn't even enough to kill him. Oh, that must feel so bad. It was down to sub 100 HP, but couldn't finish it off.
Triumph is so painful, especially for Kanavi. I would be feeling terrible about that, but he did his very best, and honestly, an impressive play just didn't quite work out for them. Now JDG, they're looking desperate at this point. The Baron is available. Oh, Teeen. Come on, man.
That was smart from iBoy. You gotta give it to the guy.
Yeah.
He's actually played Fnatic at Worlds. He knows how this goes.
Familiar with the Death Rush. Now EDG is just going to be able to shove in this bottom lane, looking for the inhibitor tower. It's going to be very hard for JDG to contest this one. They don't have the opportunity of flanking. They don't really have the opportunity of doing anything against this. Cannon Barrage can't even wave clear at this point. Yagao takes a full Q to the face there from Scout. And is half health on this tower, plus a Baroned up cannon minion on the bottom side of the map. So this 1-4 push is doing so much for EDG, and it looks like JDG are just going towards the mid lane to defend it. The inhibitor's back up, but they're about to lose 2 in the bottom and the top.
Really good move on Jinoo. He's actually backing out of the 2-man gank. I don't think Kanavi's going to be able to find this. Teammate's not in position.
Oh, he's looking for the engage back on, but that's the first Nexus Tower already falling at this point. Can EDG find the fight to follow up? Team goes for the engage. He's looking to find more. EDG back off for the time being. They'll be able to take down Teeen. Yagao goes in. He's looking for the Pop Blossom. He won't be able to find it because the flash away. Scout won't find his either, but it doesn't matter. Yagao going to be chased out of the base. The inhibitor's taken down. No inhibitors remaining in the bottom side of the map there, and EDG gonna take a 27-minute victory against JD Gaming in one of the cleanest games we have seen from them this split, and that's saying something after their series against Dominus.
Welcome to the LPL, Kanavi. It's a bit unfortunate for the rookie to face such stiff competition from EDG in his first game, but this is exactly what you should expect from these guys. EDG, they got their hands on a great draft. I would say a far superior draft. Getting the Aatrox in the first pick, getting the Xayah against the Rakan, and then also the just the mid lane should have was a lane that they could comfortably win as well. So I have a lot of questions about what JD Gaming thought would happen with that draft, like how much faith they were putting on Kanavi. It seemed to me that if you draft that way, if you take away those strong jungle options, what you're expecting is basically Kanavi to solo carry, 1v1 out Jiejie, kill him multiple times in his own jungles, and collapse the lanes. I think that's what they were hoping for. unfortunately, it didn't really happen.
Yeah, I think that's a little much hope to put in a rookie coming into his first split in the LPL.
I think it's good that they're that confident in him, though. That shows a lot that they're willing to give up. Like, here, have Aatrox and Neeko.
I don't know if we should be using the word good within even the same hemisphere as that draft from JD Gaming, because they did give up so much. And EDG, it just felt like they were running a checklist. They were like, okay, get bottom lane taken care of. Good, cool. Get the dragon. All right, we did that. Nice. Rift Herald. Oh, that was really easy.
I was disappointed because I thought that they were going to show me something in the top side. There's like, we've got this prepared for you. We've got this Aatrox counter, Vic. Here we go. Kanavi plus Zoom, the new 2v2 in the top side. We're going to win this, baby. And then it's Gangplank that dies before 10 minutes and gets a Triforce at 16. And I'm like, oh, God.
I mean, it's hard to talk about anything except for JDG during this because EDG played that so beautifully. I mean, Scout coming in with the 5-man Pop Blossom. It's harder to be more perfect on Neeko than that. So
yeah, I want to see that again. Like,
oh, yeah.
That was...
Oh, yeah.
And you have to think about the way that he got that off. Once he
just walked.
He left the team fight. He's like, I'm not going to do damage, but I'm going to get you back later.
Well,
and then he got a 5-man Pop Blossom.
That's the coolest thing about it. I don't know. EDG apparently, because the most interesting thing about that is it means that EDG fought a 4 versus 5 team fight for a full like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And we're coming out ahead. And then Scout comes in with a 5-man Pop Blossom and it's over for JD Gaming. That is insane. The fact that they were able to hold the 4 versus 5 long enough for Scout to go around, and the fact that both they and Scout were confident enough to pull that play off. Yes, a 5-man Pop Blossom is literally all you can hope for on Neeko. But at the same time, having the confidence in your teammates, having the confidence in yourself to be able to pull that off, this is a very frightening EDG.
That was insane, and sure, I think Scout deserves a lot of credit, but for me, the MVP is still going to be Jiejie. That game was pretty insane. If you think what he did in the top lane, he killed Gangplank early, so he stopped that vertical jungler from snowballing even further, and then he saved Jinoo from being destroyed. He actually went in at the exact right time and got another kill back for his top laner. So that was a mistake on Jinoo's part, but Jiejie bailed him out of it. And also, if you think about the bot lane kills that were coming in from JD Gaming, Jiejie was on point. He was always there to counteract. Every single time that JD Gaming actually got something on the bottom side, EDG came out ahead. EDG actually gained even more, and that's because Jiejie was always on position. So this is a really insane team that I'm seeing, and Jiejie, I don't expect to see such good jungling from a rookie. That's completely unwarranted. That gank into the top lane in the first time, his top side was empty. He didn't have any camps. He was like, you know what? I'm still gonna go and kill you. Like, if that gank actually fails right there, he's so far behind. But he understands when he can push those leads and still find those kills. And the coordination there was just absolutely brilliant. So, rising star on EDG. Still not sure what JD Gaming are doing.
Well, let's see if EDG can keep up the confidence and keep up the dominance in game number 2, or if JDG will get the chance to bite back. We'll be back in just a few minutes with game 2.
但是中野好像不这么想，沿途突破两个，但是伤害短了一点点。恒温周章放出来了，刀妹下来，兰博的血量很低，被刀妹2Q 直接带走，再上来 Q 死对面的加里奥。打团我觉得优势还是非常大的。加里奥这边想开这个嘲讽，嘲到了黑盾上，侧面张无忌这边切 R 技能交出来之后，刀妹黏着他，张无忌倒钩拉住刀妹，狼行开快表，侧面出妹过来保驾护航，大招甩着有点呲，又在交水银解掉后盾第2段1技能之后，比双刃没有拉到，回身顶起来 ，UZR 被哈鲁给找机会秒掉了，而且张无忌的位置一直非常好，张无忌回身再配合哈鲁收掉一人，卡特想过去点基地，但发现好像基地血量很高。
这个决策就非常的果断了，
而且看到 Knight 是 TP 的一个真空期，只能往这边去赶路啊。
兰博的大招是下防守位置，要掩护 BG 的队员可以拿下男爵，是泡芙拿下来了。正面会不会被留住？被是 Q 技能 Q 到了燕交出了一个金身，有到了 EQ 好像
这波打不了了，要后
他没有
撤了。
旗子，那后面奈特进场一个人在驱赶3个人。 但是泡芙的伤害他还是顶不住，必须先往后撤，等
看一下能留几个龙种
下一个
吧。
搜索好了，能不能踢到泡芙？踢晕了那就没了呀。
中路这对线太难受了。
锤形态找角度单杀了啊！
这个点燃挂上之后，锤形态切换成炮形态，这一炮是没办法。
但这波还是要前压 VG 就，但我觉得 VG 有一个很大的改变，就是他们知道这个阵容怎么打，就是你不可能去跟对方处理边线。蓝博已经开启了自己的大招，吸血鬼这波进场是直接被灭活掉，想拿到了人头。蓝博的大招配合皇子，终于有一波不错的一个，但是在塔前的时候，而且奈特从技能从左侧进来，是直接切掉了蓝博死掉了。正面女警是他乱战中脱点了一个霞，虽然这时候游到一个伊克连挑起人，但是没有人可以阻止奈特无止境的一个输出。奈特再斩皇子以后，车厘知道自己走不掉，精神火烤想换掉 Ben， 但这个位置是夹子在等着他。